My name is Pete, and I'm making this YouTube channel all about human-made climate change. I'm making it because I believe that it is the greatest existential threat human beings face. However, when I sat down to make my first video, I found it difficult because I realised I just wasn't passionate about the issue, and this got me thinking about why. And I think for me, it's because it feels so far away. It doesn't feel real, and it doesn't seem to be much that I can do about it. And this got me wondering, how do other people feel about human-made climate change? So I went to York to do a series of interviews asking 3 questions. How do you feel about human-made climate change? Why? And then, depending on how people answered the questions, what would make you more passionate about human-made climate change, or what do you believe would make other people more passionate about it? These are the interviews. I hope you find them interesting.
Disappointed and angry.
Helpless is the first word that comes to mind. So it would take like a concrete effort from everyone. So not like just changing your light bulbs for low energy or power saving things. That won't do anything. In reality, it has to be a fundamental change in the way that governments view renewable resources in the environment. And that's not happening. Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth kind of brought it front and center. But if you think about it, it's almost been 15 years since that aired. Nothing's changed. I mean, if anything, we're getting worse.
You think of like catastrophic weather events, and even like the most recently the wildfires in California. A lot of people attributed it to the more arid, like the arid atmosphere there, and how everything's so dry. And it burned for weeks, and everyone was like, oh wow, what a shame. But nobody wants to make the connection to climate change.
There's been floods in Thailand. There's been mudslides in China. There have been fires in California. There have been monsoons and hurricanes more than any other time in human history. Nobody cares.
Yeah, we've had an impact on the earth, but is it as great as everybody says it is? That's my worry, that's my concern. I think it's been fed to us that man's doing a great deal of damage to the earth. Yeah, we are, but earth goes in cycles, it breathes in and out, like everything does. And this is just the earth through one of its cycles. I listen to a lot of things, I read a lot of things, and that's my own personal opinion. That's all it is. I've made my decision. That's the way I look at it.
I'm very passionate about it. I think it's the biggest challenge we face as human beings, and it's not the planet that's going to suffer; it's us that's going to suffer eventually because of it. And I'm concerned about it because I have children, and I don't want them and their children to face the consequences of what we're doing. It's been my own experience. Certainly, my mind was changed dramatically by visiting Antarctica in 2008 and seeing that precious environment under pressure, and travelling with some scientists to explain how and why.
The thing that really bothers me is you get all these scientists saying, oh yeah, climate change is real, and they're still on the polar ice caps, and they've all flew there, and now they're trying to tell me, don't fly. Well, don't you fly then? Fly down there, and don't fly to the North Pole, don't fly to the South Pole. Tell me things are changing when you don't need to be there in the first place. You change your ways before I need to change mine.
I advise institutional investors about how to invest their money wisely and in a sustainable and responsible way. And one of the biggest challenges that they all face, and we all face, is to make sure companies are respectful of the environment and understand the risks as well as the opportunities from the changing climate. Well, I think education is really important, and I think the way companies behave and the way they sell their products and they market their products, the way they make their products is really important. So if the corporate world, as well as governments, make big progress in alerting people to the impact of climate change. And I think people will begin to understand it more. And of course, at school level, at the educational level, it's going to be critically important that young people learn.
Pretty worried.
I think like knowing the exact effects that it has.
Yeah.
Because if you just say like global warming's happening, but they don't know the result of it, then I think people just kind of see it as like just another thing. Whereas if you say like, I don't know, like sea levels are going to rise or whatever, and then people are going to get like flooded, then I think it has more of an effect on people because it's like bringing it closer to home.
Yeah, like I think they should display like the long-term effects as well, and show how it will affect people, because a lot of people are kind of a bit unaware like how it's going to affect them.
Like people need to know what they can do on like an individual level.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a lot of like government-led things, but like people are still the things causing the problem, like not necessarily just government.
I think many people actually care about that. It's like they don't know what to do in everyday hustle. They don't know what to do basically. Every day, work, children, family, paying bills and so on and so on and so on. They just that's the least of the problem. I think educate people, especially the new generation, about it. Especially the new generation about it. Basically, it's our home. You don't trash your own home, aren't you? And Earth is our home, isn't it?
I feel it's extremely worrying. I think that it scares me a lot actually when I consider the possibilities, the future, rising sea levels, end to the polar caps, all the potential environmental destruction that could occur. I mean, I grew up in East Yorkshire. I grew up next to the Humber estuary, where they use the Humber rather. And if the sea levels rise as we're expecting to, then my homeland will be underwater. So, on a personal level, it worries me. It's on a general level that it could cause unrivaled ecological destruction. Well, it's terrifying in itself, isn't it?
I'm really disappointed about the way the UK government, it doesn't matter which political stripe, but we don't seem to have a government in the UK, or indeed many governments around the world, who's really taking it seriously enough, in my view. So it starts with the government, it also starts, it should be the corporate world who have huge influence, and they should make their influence felt.
At the beginning of this film, I said that I was not passionate. I said it feels far away, it doesn't feel real, and there doesn't seem to be much that I can do about it. I've listened to people who say that they feel helpless, they feel worried, and they feel like nothing has changed. There's been catastrophic events, floods, wildfires, mudslides, but there is still a disagreement on whether to trust the scientific consensus that this is human-made. We don't know what to do about the biggest challenge that human beings have ever faced, particularly when we still have the everyday stresses of our lives to deal with. We know that this will affect future generations, and we know that the education of future generations is essential. However, I am still unsure about how much this is about individual action, or this is about the leadership from our corporations and governments. What I am sure about after part 1 of these interviews, on reflection, is that this does feel like it affects my home. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting, please leave a like, subscribe, and check out part 2. Thank you for watching.